Hey, what's up everybody? Danny Lightning back with another CSR2 video, and today I'm going to take a look at some of my favorite cars for live racing. Alright, if you like my videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This is probably my go-to live racing car. So pretty much any tier 4 or tier 5 car that has 4 to 5 stars and gets up over 1,000 Evo points really does well for earning RP in live racing. One of the biggest benefits about this car is people don't seem to refuse to race it like they do some of the other cars. Therefore, as I don't have to spend as much time trying to find live races because the majority of the people will accept a race from this car. This car does really well. Alright, I've got mine tuned to 12.0 on the dyno, and that's kind of the sweet spot for this car in my opinion. I can actually make this a lot faster, but I keep it at 12.0. It seems to do really well right there. Alright, so I mean this is just a all-around excellent live racing car. Now if I go to one of my other tier 4 cars, like this Ferrari F40 over here, this is probably the easiest car to win live races with, but I would say the majority of the people refuse to race that car because they know it's so easy to it's probably gonna beat them, so they don't accept the race a lot of the times. But that's the thing with the HPE 750 is most people will accept it, and I don't waste any more time than I have to trying to find the live races. So I've currently got 2,248 miles on this car. This is definitely my most driven car out of all of them. So if you get this thing, this is definitely a car to keep. One of the nice things is you can strip the tier 3 Ford Mustangs to get fusion parts and stage 6 parts for this car. So if you wanted to fully upgrade this thing, it really wouldn't be that hard to get parts for it. That's another huge plus of this car. I always like to stick with cars that you can strip to get parts for, especially if you can get fusions by stripping something. All right, and on this one you can. All right, so let's look at the Ferrari F40. This car beats dyno time by a gigantic amount, so it's probably the easiest car to win live races with in the entire game. At least in tier 4, I can't really speak for all of the tier 5 cars, but I've driven most every tier 4 car in this game so far, and this is definitely the best one for live racing. But like I was saying, the only problem is a lot of people will refuse to race this car just for the fact they know they're probably going to lose if they race it. If it wasn't for that, this would definitely be my go-to car for live racing. Over here we have the LB-NSX. If it'll let me click on that. This is another excellent live racing car. Only problem is Honda parts are extremely rare. I think I spent 20,000 keys on bronze crates to max this thing out when it was a Prestige Cup car. And people refuse to race this one sometimes, but not as much as the F40. But I really enjoy this car. It's kind of it's just a really nice car. It does really well in live racing. It earns good RP. This is one of the few cars that I actually have maxed out completely. And I'm actually pretty glad I spent all those keys to max this thing out because it's been an excellent car. Alright, this guy right here, the Silvia S15 Rocket Bunny. When I first got this and I started upgrading it, it wasn't doing very well at live races. This one's actually pretty close to being maxed out as well. So I'm missing one stage 6 part, and I've got 84 out of 91 fusion parts. So this one's got a lot of stuff in it. But when I first started upgrading this car, it really didn't do that good on live racing. It was kind of hard to win. But the more parts I put into this thing, I noticed it started doing better and better. And now it's actually a really nice live racing car with its current setup. I'm probably not going to upgrade this one any more than it already is because it's doing really good at live racing the way it's set up. People don't seem to refuse this one too much. This is a really nice car for live racing. I will mention one more thing here. The regular NSX, not the LB version, is also a really good live racing car. I got one right here. I didn't really have to put that many parts into it to get it up over 1000 Evo points. This is a really nice car for live racing. It scores some pretty decent points. Again, Honda parts are hard to come by. The RX-7 Rocket Bunny is another car I like. You kind of got to mess with the tune to get this thing to win live races. But I really enjoy live racing with this one occasionally. I don't use it that much, but I do like it. Donna's F50. Okay, once you get this, this is a really good live racing car in Tier 4. Um, I've never leveled mine up yet. I just don't really want to put all the cash into it and all the fusion parts and stuff. I don't think I had that many stage 6 parts for it, so for now I'm just going to let that one sit around and do nothing. And I think that pretty much covers all the tier 4 cars that I really like. The 2014 LB R8 V10 Plus Coupe, this one's decent. This is a pretty nice live racing car as well. It doesn't win as easily as some of the other ones. Maybe it just needs upgraded more, I'm not sure. But as of right now, I like it, but I don't love it. Some people seem to really like this one. Now when it comes to T5, I don't have all that much experience with the tier 5 cars. But after I beat Tempest 3, I got this, the Harkness Esto Elemento. And I've been live racing with this one a lot. Alright, this one is probably my highest scoring car right now as far as RP goes. When I win a live race, I'm not sure what it's actually getting. I can't remember. They keep changing the amount of RP they give you per race, but this one is my highest scoring car for sure. It's a very strange driving car. If you don't drive it just right, it just wheel spins off the line and you get a terrible time. But if you can learn to drive this car properly, I actually have a video on how to drive it. This thing is a live racing machine. This is probably now my go-to car for live racing. Before it used to be the HPE 750 Mustang I was showing you a few minutes ago. But now I'm pretty much using this for all of my live racing. I've only got 480 miles on it. I didn't get this that long ago actually. So I've got 39 out of 42 on the stage on the upgrades, and I got 81 out of 135 fusion parts. So I can keep buying Lamborghinis to get more parts to put in this car. Unfortunately, I can't get fusions for this unless the game happens to give them to me. So you gotta be lucky to get the parts for this. But this is definitely one of the best looking cars in the game in my opinion. And it's one of the best live racing cars that I've driven so far, if you can figure out how to drive it. This 600 LT, we won this as a milestone car. At first, this thing was doing really good at live racing. Then there was that last update, and now I can't seem to win a live race with it. So I don't know if they did something to this car or what, but it went from being extremely good to not so great at live racing. I tried to win a bunch of races in a row so I'd get pushed into a slower lobby to where it was easier to win, and even after losing like 30 or late races in a row, it still got me in a lobby where I can't seem to win anything. So I think they did something to this car. If I had to pick a tier 3 car for live racing, I would definitely go for Amelia's LB M4. Let me try and find that real quick. There we go. Amelia's LB M4 Coupe. This is another one of those cars that you don't get until it's either Tempest 1 or Tempest 2 you have to beat to get this car. But out of all the tier 3 cars in the game, this one has got to be the best. It's really fast, it does really well for live racing, at least from what I remember. I don't usually live race tier 3 cars, but a couple times I went into live racing with this thing, it was doing really well. So I don't know, I mean, I like this car a lot. Even for events and stuff like that, I'm gonna pick this car anytime I can to if I need a tier 3 car for events, I should say. This is my go-to car, and it's my go-to car for live racing if I'm doing tier 3 live racing. Alright, so if you get this thing, you should definitely soup it up. Alright, you can easily get parts for this thing by stripping BMWs. There's several different BMWs you can buy and strip. I believe this shares parts. I believe this shares stage 6 parts with the regular M4, which you can buy and strip. So you should be able to get parts for this pretty easily. Tier 2. Alright, there's a couple cars I really like on tier 2. If I want to live race with a tier 2 car, I am going to find let me find it here. Okay, it's Finn's Exige 360 Cup. This is an awesome live racing car right here. This is probably one of the best live racing cars in the game for tier 2. Again, this is one of those Tempest cars that you can't get until you beat one of the Tempest bosses. I think this one you beat on Tempest 2. For some reason, this car is extremely easy to beat live races with. I'm having a lot of problems with this game lately where I click on a car or something and it sits here on this loading screen for what feels like forever. Again, fixcsr2.com. Alright, that's one of those places where you can get some info there on how people are trying to get this game fixed, because there are lots of glitches and errors and stuff like that. So anyways, there it goes. That time it wasn't too bad. Sometimes, I mean, it's got to take at least 5 minutes to load into something. But this is one of my favorite live racing cars in tier 2. If you got parts for this thing, definitely put them into there because this thing is a live racing monster. I mean, it's a great driving car. It's really fast. It wins live races really easily. It's just a very good car. Now this GTI Rocket Bunny, alright, this is also a really nice live racing car. It scores really good RP for a tier 2 car. Same with Finn's car over here. It also scores really good RP for a tier 2 car. Then you have the Porsche Boxster S. You don't even need any stage 6 parts for this. Even with just stage 5 parts, you can get this up over 1,000 Evo really easily. And this thing does great for live racing. This was my first go-to live racing car. For the first probably 3 months I played this game until I got something better. I live raced with this on a daily basis. And it's a great car overall. Like I have the 1-star version. You don't even need the 1-star version of this. You can get the one with the 0 stars, and the thing is a monster. It's actually pretty easy to get. If you save up your gold, you can actually buy this car with gold, or you might actually win this with keys. I've won probably like 5 or 6 of these since I've been playing, maybe more. I win a lot of these when using silver keys to get cars. So if you win a 1-star version of this, definitely keep it, because these are excellent live racing cars. Now KJ's Toyota 86 Rocket Bunny, once you start getting some parts into this car, this is actually a pretty decent live racing car. It doesn't earn as many points as some of those other ones. It's only up to like 635 Evo. It might get more once you upgrade it more. I've got let's see how many parts I got of this. I got 38 out of 45 parts. If you get all 45 parts in there, the Evo's gonna go up a little higher. So that might be a decent earner if you completely max it out. I'm not sure, but I enjoy driving this car as well. Now when it comes to tier 1, for the most part, the Golf GTI. The Golf GTI with 1 star is really good. If you don't have the 1 star version yet, that's just fine. Um, I hate when the game does this. I don't know why that happens. Let me find the Honda Angel Civic 1.5 VTEC. Currently, this is probably that didn't work. But Angel Civic 1.5 VTEC is probably my favorite tier 1 car out of all of them. It's not quite the fastest yet. Alright, Sneak's Trackstar is definitely the fastest tier 1 car in the game. It's kind of ridiculous. That's something you don't get till you beat the 3rd set of Tempest races. Here we got these really slow load-in times again. But basically, the 1 star Volkswagen GTI is really good. The store-bought one without any stars is also really good. Snake's Trackster, that's an awesome live racing car for tier 2. If you can get a bunch of parts into it. Nice thing about tier 1 cars is you don't have to put any stage 6 parts into them. Actually, the 1 star version of the Abra 500, once you max that car out on fusion parts, that's actually a pretty decent car for live racing. I like that little thing. I don't really live race these tier 1, 2, or tier 3 cars very much. Every once in a while I'll pick one of those and go live race it just because I have an urge to drive one of these cars that I like and haven't driven for a while. And of course, the game's being a turd right now and loading like this. Definitely visit fixcsr.com. Hopefully they can get people to the developers and the I don't know, whoever makes this game to fix it up, because there's way too many glitches and errors. I mean, this game should not take this long to load something. I mean, it gets pretty ridiculous that it does this. I don't know. But anyways, I think that pretty much concludes the video. I guess I really don't need to show you those cars particularly, because I mean, you pretty much know what they are, except for Sneak's car. You might not be able to see that if you haven't got into the Tempest races yet. Well, I mean, sometimes this takes 5 minutes to sit here and load in. So if this doesn't load in really quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and end the video now. But in tier 1, it's definitely the GTI, the Focus Trackster, the Abra 500. I don't really. Oh yeah, Angel Civic 1.5 VTEC. Conduit's Mark 1 GTI. It's okay. It's got 3 purple stars, but you know, I don't really drive that car. I was pretty excited to get it, but I just don't really like it, which is unfortunate because I was like, oh yeah, I love these old GTIs, but I got that thing and I just don't drive it. But it is a good live racing car, but I like some of the other ones better. So anyways, it looks like we're still stuck on this loading screen, and who knows how long it's going to take for this thing to fix itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and end this video. Alright, so those are my favorite live racing cars for each tier. And alrighty, catch you guys later.